Alright guys, we are back in the game and I have a new mod installed called Offhand Weapons. And the mod actually comes in two different versions. One is a dagger version and one is a staff version. And it essentially adds an offhand weapon instead of a shield to block with. Kind of a parrying type of thing, which I think can add to some immersion as well as be a pretty cool, unique little thing. So, the daggers are sold in a fighting chance inside the Imperial City Market District. If you see Rosan, she's the one that's selling them. So
armor, weapons, I have it all. How may I help you?
And you can see we have the parrying dagger backhand.
That's a good.
Rough parrying dagger.
That's a good.
And rough parrying dagger backhand.
Thank you. Farewell.
And we will go ahead and equip and see how this looks. Alright, rough parrying dagger. So as you can see, this is the classic parrying dagger that you would see back in the olden days. Pretty nice. Let's get a good view of that outside in the streets. Not bad. Third person view. Looks
Nothing
good.
I'd like to talk about.
Goodbye.
Alright. Now let's see what this rough parrying dagger backhand looks like.
How are
Go
you?
back there.
I've been better.
A new quarrel was besieged by marauders.
Not
I
bad.
wish I could go with...
So
Alright. Let's go ahead and check out just the regular parrying dagger.
What's the news from the other
Here.
parts of Tamriel?
they say syndicates of wizards
It looks a little nicer than the rough parrying dagger.
led a boycott of Imperial goods.
Parry dagger
Some
backhand.
said Isle has become
So it comes in two different versions. Let's get away
I
from
understand the Fighters Guild
that
desires
mess.
members.
And we will go ahead and check out the staff version in reindeer staffs. Hello.
You're in Reindeer Staffs, and I'm Reindeer. I sell magical staffs. Imagine that.
Yeah.
They offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Alright, so the staffs come in a few versions. There's the rough offhand staff, rough offhand worm staff,
You drive a
staff
hard
of
bargain.
worms, offhand staff,
I let that go too cheap.
offhand worm staff, and then there's an enchanted version that sells for an enormous amount of gold. It has a 50% reflect spell and a 50% resist magic enchantment on
I
it.
appreciate. Farewell.
Pretty nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at these outside. Alright, first, rough offhand staff.
Good afternoon. Read any good books
Go.
lately?
Not bad. That right there has some Gandalf the Grey vibes for sure. Let's see what this regular offhand staff looks like. Not bad. Better stats, a little more expensive. The rough offhand worm staff, as you can see, is a very necromancer-y type of shield. I mean, technically it's not a shield, but it is functioning 100% as a shield. That's kind of cool. And we also have just the offhand worm staff, which I think is identical, they're the same, just better stats and a little more expensive. And then we have the offhand spellbreaker staff here, and this is the one with the enchantment. Not bad. Alright guys, that is what I have for you. It looks like while you're running about, it is just hanging out in your offhand, similar to how a shield is. Just to reiterate, shield's just going to sit there, so is this. Alright, so I think that's kind of neat. Compared to a regular, see this is the rusty iron shield. These have less armor than the rusty iron shield it looks like, but also I am more skilled in heavy armor than I would be with light armor, and I think all of these count as light armor. So in comparison, the rough leather shield is probably more apt to compare to, and these are at a 2, the rough versions, so that kind of lines up with the rough leather shield armor rating and weight. They're just a little more pricey. And then I think these are the equivalent of Elven, but I can't confirm that right now. Just an assumption I have based off previous versions of the mod. It was originally a replacer of the Elven shields, so I think that probably lines up about right. Either way, it's a pretty cool and interesting mod, and I hope you guys appreciate this demo of the offhand weapons. Now we're going to go ahead and get into installation. Alright guys, we are on the offhand weapons mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And real quick, if you like this mod, please don't forget to endorse it. That is basically the like button of Nexus Mods. Alright, so let's dive into installation. And the first thing we need to talk about is the requirements. So here we have a requirement of UE4SS Test Sync Map Injector. And because this mod is required, UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered is also required. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to both of my videos, one covering UE4SS Test Sync Map Injector, and my video covering UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered as well. Alright, with requirements out of the way, let's go ahead and move into installation. If we look here in the Files tab, you'll see several files. These main files are the standalones that have the parrying daggers and the staffs. If you want both of them, you need to download both of them. If you only want one or the other, just download the one. Both of them function independently of each other. They don't depend on each other whatsoever. And then we have 2 additional optional files down here. This adds idle animations, just a little bit extra immersive. And then this one also converts the light shield sound into something more resembling sword and dagger blocking sounds. So if you want those additional things, I'll walk you through that as well. Alright, so first way of downloading all this that I'm going to do is with the mod manager download for Vortex. That is my preferred way to handle mods. It's very easy to keep track of updates and whatnot, so Vortex is my go-to. But I will cover manual afterwards, so let's dive into Vortex right now. Do a mod manager download. It is real quick going to remind us that we need Test Sync Map Injector UE4SS. Please follow my video covering how to get that installed if you don't already have that installed. Several mods are going to require this, so never a better time than now to get it downloaded. Alright, so here we go with the slow download. And while I'm waiting on that to download on Vortex, I'm also going to get the staff pack with the slow download. And I'm going to go ahead and get the idle animations and the sound effects. Alright, and all 4 of those should be installed right here. On Vortex, you can see offhand weapons. We've got the parrying dagger, staff pack, light shield sound fix, and idle animation open hand fix. And if we look at our load order, you can see here we got the parry dagger standalone and the offhand staves. And we don't see the other 2 mods showing up in the load order. That is totally fine. These are still going to function just fine. As long as we have them enabled, we know that they're good to go. Alright, so that was the really quick Vortex installation. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the manual installation. So for the parrying daggers standalone, we will do a manual download. It's going to remind us we need that file. Alright. I'm going to do a slow download, and any of you that are familiar with my videos know that I have a manual mods folder where I keep all of my mods that I install manually, and this is going to be no different. So I'm going to save it there. And then once it's downloaded, we're going to open up this folder. You can see we have the 7-zip folder here. I'm going to go ahead and extract it using 7-zip. And then, well, if it's showing it, there it is. Yep, okay. I can go ahead and delete the 7-zip folder now. I don't need it since I have it extracted. And when we open this folder, you can see it already has the file paths ready to go, and I think that's for Vortex compatibility purposes. But let's go ahead and open up the game folder real quick. I'm doing that from Vortex. If you guys are trying to get this installed manually, you probably already know where your games folder is. If you don't, for Steam, it is under Steam, Steam Apps Common, Oblivion Remastered. And then over here on the mods folder, you can see Oblivion Remastered is here. We're just going to follow that same path all the way through. We have packs, mods, all that. So we're going to have to drop all of these files here, these pack files, over here. I'm not going to do that right now, but if you're manually installing this, you will need to drag these over here to this folder here. As you can see, I already have Parrying Dagger Standalone, Parrying Dagger Standalone Forms pack here. I also have these. Vortex already is handling all of this for me, so I don't have to manually go through any of this. Yeah, pretty straightforward and simple on that end. If we head back up to this content folder, we have the deb, OVB, data, and we have this ESP file as well as sync map things. We need to do the same here. So under dev, OBV data, in here is the offhand staves and the parrying daggers, any file, or ESP file, sorry. Right here, as you can see, what you would do here is you would just drag this over. Vortex is already doing that for me, so I don't have to worry about that. The other thing that we need to do once we have that there is we need to go to the, man, is it, it's not load order, it's plugins.txt. Yep. Alright, so from there we need to open up this plugins, the plugins.txt file in this same folder inside of data. And this essentially is our load order. And we need to make sure that you add parrying daggers underscore standalone.esp to this load order exactly how it is shown here. It needs to be exactly this. Put it here and then save. Alright, and then once that's done, you also need to go into the sync map folder and drag this ini file over here as well. And then you are done with installation. That is the Parrying Dagger standalone. Additionally, what you could do, if you wanted to, instead of going into each separate folder and taking all those files and putting them in the different places, what you could do is you could just drag this Oblivion Remastered folder over inside of Oblivion Remastered and let it just populate all of the things in the right folders right where they go. It will automatically do that for you. It'll skip a lot of these headaches, but it is nice to be able to get into the content deb OVB data and make sure, even if you did just drag Oblivion Remastered folder over to let it do its thing, you will still need to open the plugins.txt and make sure that the ESP file is here. You need to add it in your load order. If you don't do that, none of this is going to work. Okay, so that is the installation for Parrying Daggers. Let's go ahead and get back here and check out the manual download for the staff pack. It's going to be a very similar process. We're going to do a slow download. And inside the manual mods folder, I'm going to save the 7-zip. And then we can, once it's downloaded, see it over here. Offhand staves, standalone is a zip file. Zip folder, I mean. We're going to go ahead and go to 7-zip and extract to its own folder. And as you can see, offhand stabs is here now. So we no longer need the zip folder, so we can delete it. And we can come over in here. And again, if you would prefer, and this is probably a lot simpler, to just drag this Oblivion Remastered folder over here and drop it in the Oblivion Remastered folder with a space there and let this kind of populate the Oblivion Remastered. You can do that. It'll work just fine. You can also go in here and get to these content packs, mods, and make sure you drag all of these over here. That is also something. This is the couple of extra steps maybe to do this, but if we scroll down here, we can see I already got them here because Vortex is already doing all the heavy lifting for me. I can't stress how much Vortex saves you in time. Alright, so now that we've done that, we can head back up to the content folder, and we can go to dev, OBV data, dev, OBV data. We just need to drag this ESP file over here, and if we scroll down, you can see I already have that installed because Vortex is doing all of that heavy lifting for me. I don't have to worry about it. And then in the sync map folder up here, you can see we've got a couple of inis here. We would just drag this over as well. Now I already should have the offhand staves standalone ini right here. It's because Vortex is already handling it and I've got it installed. And then the last thing you need to do is up in this data folder. We again need to open this plugins.txt. And you need to make sure that the offhand staves underscore standalone.esp is showing up here exactly as it appears here. You need to make sure that it's here. This is your load order. If you don't have the ESP inside your plugins.txt file, none of this is going to work. So just keep that in mind. Once you have it in here, go ahead and save it. And that's it. So now the staffs is installed manually. But that's not all. We have these two optional different things. We've got the idle animation and we have the light shield sound fix. I'm going to start with the idle animations and we'll go through the manual install for that as well. Do a slow download and it's going to show up in my manual mods folder again. And I can come up here. Alright, so here it is as a 7-zip folder. We're going to go ahead and extract it with 7-zip, just like the others. And you can see it showed up here, so I no longer need the 7-zip folder, so I'll go ahead and delete it. And when we open this, you see we have these three, the pack, UCAS, and UTOC, all of these different things. We just need to drop those in the correct folder location, which I think is here in packs mods, but let me double check on that real quick. Yes, so these three files we just need to drop in here. It's the idle animations closed offhand. As you can see, Vortex is already handling all of that for me, so I don't have to do that, but let's go through exactly where this is so nobody's asking questions later. So we're in our Steam Apps Common, and then we're going into Oblivion Remastered. Oblivion Remastered Content Packs folder. And then we go into the squiggly line mods folder here. And there it is. That's the location. You would just drag all these over here. I'm not going to do it because Vortex is handling that for me, but all you have to do is drag and drop and it's done. Okay, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and get the light shield sound fix. It's going to be a manual download. We'll do a slow download. It's going to be in the manual mods folder still. And go ahead and show it right here. You can see light shield block sound replacer is right there. Now that it's downloaded, we will extract it with 7-zip. Light shield block sound replacer right there. So we no longer need this 7-zip folder. So I'll delete it. And we can go in here to light shield block sound replacer. And you can see it again is one of these .pack files. You can see the type is pack file. If we look over here in this same folder, content packs mods, if we scroll down, you can see light shield block sound replacer _p.pack. All you have to do is drag this on over to this same folder, and that is it. It will then be installed. And that is the whole process. We have manually installed all 4 of these different files. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. It seems it was quite a bit of extra steps compared to a lot of different mods that I've covered in the past, but also, man, is Vortex so much nicer at installation than trying to manually install everything. All right. With that all out of the way, guys, happy modding and happy Mondays. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I really appreciate it, and I hope it was very helpful showcasing this mod and showing how to install it. I'm really hoping that we can get this channel growing so that we can show as many people as possible how easy it is to install some mods and showcase some really good mods that some hardworking people come up with. In order to do that though, I'm really going to need you guys' help. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with as many people as you can. We'll try to get this channel growing, and hopefully it helps as many people as possible. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.